is there just kind of a sense maybe in the locker room that like some of the success you've had over the last week could prove to be your big breakthrough or kind of maybe a turning point for you guys for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all feeling good. I think the energy's high. Really good win in Minnesota. Had a chance to celebrate together. I think that only helps our chemistry. You know, all that stuff off the court definitely fuels us. We're having fun with each other. We're having fun together playing. So I think it is. I think this is a good moment for us. And, you know, especially we're playing without one of our best players. So to do that in those circumstances, we're really just proud of ourselves.
The Las Vegas Aces, the self-proclaimed unstoppable dynasty of the WNBA, just got served a harsh dose of reality in front of the entire basketball world. A 27-point blowout. Check. A'ja Wilson getting every favorable whistle under the sun and still crashing and burning. Big check. Chelsea Gray, hilariously hyped by some as superior to Caitlin Clark, disappearing in crunch time. The biggest check of all? While A'ja was out there dragging players down from behind and somehow dodging fouls like a magician, there was a squad in Indianapolis putting on a clinic in what true, unselfish, high IQ basketball is all about.
The Indiana Fever just beat the Aces. The first win for the Indiana Fever against the Las Vegas Aces since I was 22 years old.
Because that 81-54 clinic the Indiana Fever put on wasn't just a loss for Vegas. It was a declaration. A glowing neon billboard blazing in bold Fever red screaming that no stack of referee freebies, no dramatic stat chasing from Wilson, and definitely no dynasty fairy tale was going to save them when Indiana made the decision to tighten up and play some real, cohesive, connected basketball.
And A'ja Wilson. My God, you see how many free throws that lady have? Oh my God, on the stat sheet, she had basically 30 points, but all the free throws this woman got, man, they tried their best to keep the Aces in the game, man, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter, man. They destroyed the Aces. About freaking time the Fever finally beats the Aces, man, and without Caitlin Clark.
Now, let's zoom in on the moment this clash really ignited. In the third quarter, Lexie Hull, who's been the embodiment of grit and steady progress all season, boxed out Wilson so flawlessly it could be featured in a coaching clinic. She claimed her space, planted her hips with precision, and pulled down that rebound like she's rehearsed it 1,000 times. Pure fundamentals. Then came A'ja Wilson, swooping in from behind, literally stretching over Lexie's shoulders and arms in a desperate, obvious grab for the ball. A move so egregious, it should be immortalized in a what not to do highlight reel.
Up, shot won't fall. Wilson, what looks like over the back. Oh boy, jump ball is the call. Wow, Stephanie White's upset about that. I thought that was over the back. Wow, watch this. That's a jump ball?
Ask anyone who's seen even a single AAU game, and they'll confirm that's an over-the-back foul. Indiana ball, play on, end of story. But the refs? Nope. They chose to rewrite the rulebook right there on live television. Somehow, defying all reason, they ruled it a jump ball. As if Wilson had some equal right to that rebound after barreling into Hull from behind, like it was a free-for-all.
But this was a big win for the Fever because the Aces were the only team that they had not won at least one game to last season, meaning the Aces swept the Fever last season. They actually haven't won a game against the Aces in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark. This team is crazy. They are beating the #1 team in the league first. And then they go and beat the Aces, who they haven't won to in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark, which is just a testament to how this team is finally developing a rhythm.
Even the broadcast crew couldn't mask their disbelief. Their commentary swung between stunned silence and uneasy laughter as they tried to wrap their heads around what they were witnessing. The contact was blatant. The foul couldn't have been more clear. Yet somehow, the officials managed to neutralize it in a way that outright rewarded the very player who committed the violation.
It's a foul. It's your third. Lexie Hall, tremendous three at the base. The league at 50% shooting the three, draws for charge.
But here's where it gets downright poetic. The Indiana Fever didn't fold or sulk. They didn't let the wobbly officiating throw them off course. They brushed it aside, locked in, and went on to dismantle the Aces so thoroughly that every sketchy call became nothing more than background noise. Let's break down exactly how Indiana flipped what could have been a Vegas momentum shift into a lopsided masterclass in beautiful, connected basketball.
So I think everyone's coming in with a level of focus every day, just right now knowing that, we do have a target on our backs and making sure that we're locked in on everything we're doing in practice. But I think we're taking that energy that we have, that fun, that lightheartedness into practice, because at the end of the day, this is a game. We want to have fun, and I think we play our best basketball when we're playing free and having fun and being joyful and playing together.
From the opening quarter, Indiana came out swinging. They poured in the first 6 points and never let up. By the end of the first, they were cruising with a 21-4 lead. Already you could sense the game slipping out of Vegas's grip. Indiana shot close to 53%, held the Aces to under 29%, and dominated them 16-4 in paint points. At that moment, it was obvious. This wasn't going to be the Aces' night to shine.
Indiana has not beat Las Vegas since the 2019 season. Since Howard, the Commissioner's Cup MVP, has us on the ball. Here is Boston right up the middle, untouched.
Drive, gives it to the roller, Howard, and she scores from the middle of the paint. Timeout, Becky Hammond.
Couple of Gamecocks going head-to-head. I mean, there's some physicality right there.
We're really disciplined to the details, and we're playing with a high effort.
But it was in the second quarter that the Fever went straight for the jugular. They outscored Vegas 25-10. That's not a typo. 25-10. Indiana scorched the nets at an unreal 82% clip, while Vegas stumbled to a miserable 24%. The Fever went a perfect 6 for 6 in the paint. The Aces, a sad 3 of 13. By halftime, it was 46-24. And let's be real, game over. And that controversial jump ball, it came right when Vegas desperately needed a miracle to get back in it. The refs basically threw them a lifeline, gifting them a possession they didn't earn and tossing them a chance to flip the momentum.
We've been preaching this all season, being very disciplined and intentional with our actions. On both ends of the floor, we're doing that. And it's a high level of activity all over the place. I'm really proud of the girls.
All smiles for the Fever through 20 minutes. It's a 22-point lead for the Fever. Indiana in front of Las Vegas, 46-24.
For the Fever, it could have been one of those unraveling moments, but they didn't flinch. Lexie Hull did everything right and still got snubbed, the kind of thing that usually tilts young teams. Not this time. Vegas got a bailout call and a sliver of hope, but Indiana slammed the door shut. By the fourth, it was a full-on demolition. The Aces scored just 7 points, 7. Final score, 81-54, and even that feels generous. A'ja Wilson's stat sheet sparkled, but the game told a different story. Despite all the whistles in her favor, Vegas got run off the court. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, Lexie Hull, and the Fever didn't just win, they sent a message. The league's balance of power is shifting, and everyone just watched it happen in real time.
He's right away, baby! Fever down!
Man, I think it's the next step up mentality as far as players. Our shifts keep changing. Everybody doing a different role, and so I think we all got the mentality where you give and you sacrifice, and I think that's what y'all see.
The Indiana Fever just did the unthinkable, and it was electric. With Caitlin Clark sidelined, going up against a fired-up Dallas Wings squad still stinging from a crushing loss to the Sparks, this had all the makings of a meltdown. A roaring crowd of 20,049 packed the arena, all hyped to see Clark and Paige Bueckers clash for the first time in the WNBA. But what they got? Something even more unforgettable. The closing moments flipped the entire narrative, and how you see this Fever team will never be the same. Then came Aaliyah Boston's post-game words, 6 of them, simple yet powerful, that told you everything.
Yeah, I think for us, it's about knowing that basketball is a game of runs, and they made their run that third quarter, and honestly, just continue to stay composed and take it each possession at a time is something that we've been working on, and so for us, that was our focus, is get a stop, go down and score, get another stop, and we try to get a...
Picture this. The hype was off the charts. The entire WNBA world was buzzing. Clark versus Bueckers, the #1 pick of 2024 squaring off with the top pick of 2025. This wasn't your average regular season clash. This was the showdown fans had circled since draft night. The Dallas Wings? Oh, they felt it too. So much so, they made a game-changing call, literally. They ditched their usual spot at College Park Center and upgraded to the massive American Airlines Center, home of the Mavericks. Let that sink in. You don't move to a 20,000-seat arena unless you know something epic is about to go down. Tickets flew. The internet exploded. The hype? Unmatched. This was the game that would shatter attendance records and prove to the world just how far women's basketball has come.
Finding out this morning that we probably need to hold out again today. It really is a day-to-day thing. And I think for us, making sure that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness. It's anybody who's had some of these types of injuries understand that sometimes it's a process. She's a quick healer, and she's been doing everything that she can to get back on the floor. So, we just want to make sure that we're hypersensitive to the big picture.
Then boom, just like that, Clark's groin injury flares up 2 nights before tip-off. The most anticipated showdown of the season instantly turns into a massive question mark. Thousands of fans had scooped up tickets with one thing in mind: watching these two phenoms go head-to-head. And now, the main event, the marquee matchup, the reason for all the buzz, might not even happen.
I feel a disappointment for them more than anything because, you want them to see her at her best and us at our best. I hate that for fans. But at the same time, again, for us as a team and for Caitlin as a person and player, her health and wellness is the priority.
But here's what cranked the drama up even more. The Fever had just been blown out by the Los Angeles Sparks the night before. And not just a loss, we're talking total meltdown mode. Without their star running the show, Indiana looked completely out of sync. The pace, sluggish, the ball movement, practically non-existent. Aaliyah Boston barely touched the ball. Everything that usually makes the Fever so dangerous just crumbled without Clark on the floor.
I think the biggest thing for us is our attention to detail in our screening. We've got to be great screeners. We got to make sure we slow down and use our screen and our spacing. We've had some games where our spacing has been poor, and that has not allowed Kelsey to get downhill, and it hasn't allowed space for Leah to get going either. So I think that the two most important things for us right now offensively is attention to detail and screening and spacing.
Dallas was absolutely licking their chops. They knew exactly what happens when the Fever take the floor without Clark. The offense slows to a crawl. Boston disappears from the game plan. The whole system starts to crack. This looked like the perfect setup for the Wings to pounce. A wounded opponent ripe for a statement win. But then came the twist no one saw coming. Even without a confirmed appearance from Clark, more than 20,000 fans still packed the arena. That's right, they broke the Texas women's basketball attendance record without the main attraction even guaranteed to play. Let that sink in. That's the power of this rivalry and the unstoppable rise of women's basketball.
We'll start Ari today. We'll start her and bring Sid off the bench a little bit. I don't want to take Kelsey out of what she naturally does instinctually on the wing. and overload her from a point guard perspective. So with having Ari and having Sid, they'll give us a couple different looks right there.
The Wings came into that game thinking they had a wounded animal backed into a corner. But then, bam, Coach Stephanie White flipped the script, shocking everyone by starting Ari McDonald for the first time. It was a total curveball, a lineup change nobody saw coming. No one knew what to expect from this brand new look. What happened next would reveal something buried deep in this Fever squad, something even their biggest fans didn't know existed. The stage was set for either a complete meltdown or pure magic. Then the first quarter tips off, and boom. The Fever don't just cope without Clark, they absolutely erupt. Ari McDonald comes in like a bolt of lightning, bringing a level of energy that stuns the building. She's pushing the tempo like her life depends on it.
Charles can't finish.
Gotta finish that.
Oh, beautiful pass. McDonald counted in one.
Run.
She's getting everyone involved so seamlessly, you almost forget Clark isn't even on the floor. Dallas came in laser focused on one thing: stop Kelsey Mitchell. That was the game plan. Shut her down, and the Fever would crumble. Simple, right? But suddenly, they're scrambling to handle Ari McDonald's relentless downhill assault, something they never saw coming. She's tearing through the defense, causing absolute mayhem. She's unlocking driving lanes that haven't been there all season. The Wings' entire strategy, out the window.
Can't finish.
As a big, you gotta lean in. You can't be falling away.
McDonald has been outstanding.
Here's what makes it even wilder. McDonald goes perfect from the field in the first quarter. She's not just scoring, she's making smart team-first plays that open everything up. The Fever come out red hot, hitting their first 7 shots in a row. 7 straight. That kind of execution, rare and electric.
Inside, can't get it. Lee Yu-Ru can't. Here comes Natasha Howard. 9-0 run for Indiana. Lexie Hull carries the 3. You gotta get out on her, ladies. She's shooting 51% from beyond the arc.
Aaliyah Boston finally starts getting the touches she's been craving all season long. You can literally watch her confidence grow with every trip down the floor. She's catching the ball exactly where she can dominate. With McDonald's speed keeping defenders honest, Boston suddenly has the space to go to work. She's scoring with ease and crashing the boards like she's been itching for this spotlight.
Shooting to open the game. The Wings are only 2 of 14. Howard lobs it inside Boston, and Maisha Hines-Allen got lost. Allowed for the easy 2.
And you down to Natasha, and she's going to get in the paint. And so the defense has to step up to protect the drive, and now she puts that air on the ball, and AB is able to finish that shot at the rim. That was beautiful.
The crowd that showed up to see Clark face Beckers is getting something totally different, and way more thrilling. They're witnessing a team finding their true identity, where everyone steps up and shines together. This isn't a one-player show. It's 5 players moving as a single, unstoppable force. By the end of the first quarter, Indiana's blasting ahead 33-13. Let that sink in. They outscored Dallas by 20 points in just 12 minutes. Even the Dallas fans are on their feet, applauding the pure basketball magic unfolding. Respect like that from opponents? Rare and well-earned.
I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader outside of rebounding her own missed layups. What does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night, and for 27 minutes, she completely disappeared.
Angel Reese just suffered the most humiliating moment of her career in front of a packed house and primetime viewers. She scored a mere 4 points on 2 of 7 shots, as the Indiana Fever crushed the Chicago Sky by 27. But here's the kicker. The Fever played without Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, or even their head coach. And the moment that truly shattered Reese's confidence, We'll break it down in this video. Caitlin Clark pulled off a live TV move that completely put Reese in her place.
Well, there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be. But the Indiana Fever absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
You know a player isn't a true draw when tickets to their game drop to the price of a gas station candy bar. This United Center showdown was supposed to be Angel Reese's chance to prove she could pull in crowds and viewers without Caitlin Clark stealing the spotlight. All season, the Chicago Sky pushed the story that Reese was just as much of a box office star as Clark, that fans showed up to watch her shine too.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, "I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person." She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. "It's because of me too, and I want you to realize that."
Then reality hit like a freight train. Once Caitlin Clark was ruled out with her quad injury, ticket prices crashed from premium to just $3. $3. You can't even grab a decent coffee for that. Yet, that's what people were willing to pay to watch Angel Reese at the United Center. This wasn't a small dip. Tickets once priced for a marquee WNBA showdown suddenly tanked. The moment Clark's absence was official, the secondary market collapsed. Scalpers couldn't give tickets away, and fans who'd been hyped lost all interest. Now, it's crystal clear. There's only one true star.
Last night was somewhat of a big moment for Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado. For starters, the WNBA moved the game out of the local dump the Bravado usually play in and relocated to the United Center, which is the largest arena in the NBA, holding over 20,000 people. Now, to their credit, there seemed to be a good crowd in the United Center last night. I had someone who was at the game send me a few pictures, and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when tickets are selling for $3 hours before the game starts.
Social media told the full story. Fans flooded timelines with screenshots of $3 tickets, peppered with laughing emojis, joking they could take their whole family to the game for less than parking costs. The hype around this United Center showdown deflated faster than a punctured basketball. Let's be real, this was Chicago's big moment to shine. The Sky kept claiming Reese had her own fan base, was must-watch TV, the main draw. But when it came down to it, with Clark missing, the market spoke loud and clear about who fans really wanted to see.
What an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pre-game catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game?
Compare that to past games where Clark's presence packed the arena with sellout crowds. Fans lined up hours early just to catch a glimpse of Clark warming up. The difference couldn't have been more glaring.
Angel Reese, part 38, let's get it! Life throws her lemons, she makes bricks. Bang! PSA to anyone watching, she is right-handed. Right-handed, by the way. She missed the rim by 3 feet, man. Bang! I gotta say, this is my favorite summer sitcom. Pecan? Butter pecan? Bang! Here's a stat. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops. What?
Even Chicago Sky fans lost interest without the Clark matchup to hype. The game's energy shifted from electric anticipation to resigned obligation. Fans who planned watch parties suddenly made other Friday night plans. This ticket price disaster was just the start of Angel Reese's worst nightmare unfolding on the biggest stage. Those $3 tickets perfectly foreshadowed the kind of performance Chicago's supposed superstar was about to deliver.
This might have been the first WNBA game broadcast on CBS in prime time. If it's not the first, it's one of very few. This was a big moment. I'm sure the WNBA would call it historic. Angel Reese is playing in an NBA arena in prime time on network television on Saturday night. Outside of regular season baseball, maybe the College World Series, there was no competition on television. The eyes of the sports world were focused on Angel Reese and the WNBA. And Angel Reese once again proved why no one is watching her.
4 points on 2 of 7 shooting in 27 minutes on primetime TV. That's how you ruin your reputation live and loud. The United Center hosted its first ever WNBA game, with CBS clearing prime time and a sold-out crowd filling the NBA's biggest arena expecting fireworks. Instead, they witnessed Angel Reese deliver what analysts labeled a disaster class and a total meltdown on the sport's grandest stage.
Caitlin Clark is averaging more assists per game than Angel Reese is averaging points per game this season. Yeah. 9.3 points per assists per game. 9.3 assists per game. Let me just bring it up. To 9.1 points per game.
Let's break down just how brutal this performance was. Reese scored only 4 points, missing 5 of 7 shots, including 2 cringe-worthy layups that made the crowd groan. One attempt was completely blocked, and the cameras captured every flicker of her visible frustration as the game slipped away. For someone hyped as Chicago's superstar and box office draw, this stat line was downright savage.
Another diabolical stat. She's 19 of 59 from less than 5 feet away. How about that, man? Dang! She should work at housekeeping for hotels because she could turn it over quickly. Lost by 27, scored only 4 points against the Indiana Fever. I mentioned no Caitlin Clark, no problem, give and go. Like a given no shot of working. Bang!
You prefer a car or plane?
Car or plane for what? For how you want to travel! That's too many steps and you can't do that.
But here's what truly broke the game wide open. Reese. Out there, she looked utterly lost. Every move seemed clouded by doubt. Every decision a step into uncertainty. The weight of the moment crushed her, and Indiana's defense tore through her composure like a storm. The cameras caught it all. The frustrated shakes of her head, the silent disappointment etched on her face as shot after shot rattled off the rim. This wasn't just a bad game. This was a moment of unraveling, and the story was impossible to ignore.
The Indiana Fever are in a disastrous situation right now. They're in an absolutely disastrous situation.
Just moments ago, Sophie Cunningham finally spoke out, and what she revealed about the Indiana Fever locker room should send shockwaves through every Caitlin Clark fan out there.
Sophie Cunningham goes in the post-game press conference and confirms what we've all known all along.
We've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own islands.
This locker room is split, and she uses the term different islands going on in this locker room.
Sophie literally says, there's a little thing going on in the locker room.
That's not good. That's not good to hear.
We're talking broken trust, no backup for their star, and a team unraveling from within. Caitlin's fights clearly go far beyond the court. She's out there waging war completely on her own.
There's one really concerning thing that Sophie Cunningham says.
I think that we've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own island.
It's been a disaster. The good teams can keep the locker room together.
If you're still backing Caitlin Clark and believe she deserves way better than this disaster, drop a comment below. Stand up for Caitlin Clark, because after Sophie's brutally honest words, it's clear this team's falling apart, and no one's lifting a finger to protect their once-in-a-generation star.
Caitlin Clark is the star player of the WNBA.
The most popular woman ever in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is the needle. Caitlin is box office.
Caitlin Clark as the star.
everything else is wrapped around her, and everything else is revolving around her.
She's Rookie of the Year in the WNBA.
For weeks, fans felt something was wrong with this Fever squad, and now Sophie has torn the bandage clean off. She confirmed what everyone had been whispering. The locker room is fractured, unraveling just when Caitlyn needs unity more than ever. In her post-game press conference, Sophie didn't hold back.
Sophie Cunningham, in the post-game interview, speaks on this team and the islands.
We have our own island. That line hit like a live grenade.
I think that we've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own island.
This wasn't just about missed plays or botched assignments. It was a locker room filled with disconnection, zero unity, and a blinding absence of leadership.
Everybody's on their own little island.
For a team built around a once-in-a-generation talent like Caitlin Clark, that's a blaring neon red warning sign for every fan who's watching closely.
Take care of our locker room.
Whew! You did a job at that.
Sophie admitted the squad is unstable and failing to support each other when it counts. Translation: Caitlyn's not just eating hits from defenders, she's being left to fend for herself with no help from her own teammates when the blows keep coming.
Caitlin Clark, plasters over all the cracks. She realistically plasters over all the cracks of this team. This team is not structured well.
The very squad that's supposed to rally around her can't even hold it together. Last season, they had each other's backs. Win or lose, there was a sense of unity. But now, Sophie bluntly admits, everything's changed.
Even when they were losing games, it seemed like the locker room was in a good spot.
Now Sophie's basically waving a massive warning flag. And this isn't some clueless rookie talking. This is a battle-tested veteran. She even owned up, saying she's got to step up and help unify the team. But let's be honest, that doesn't fix the cracks that are already splitting wide open.
Sophie Cunningham coming out there and effectively saying there's a big difference between her saying there are locker room issues and her saying the locker room maybe isn't where it needs to be.
Caitlin Clark's trapped in a locker room that offers her no protection, emotionally, mentally, or physically. And that collapse, it's bleeding out onto the court for everyone to witness.
It is not looking positive for them to be fixed. We can be honest here, it's not looking positive.
In games where Caitlyn takes a beating, where's the support? No teammates stepping up to send a message. Just collapse when it counts. Sophie even pointed it out herself. They scored 35 points on us in one quarter.
They scored 35 points, I think you guys said. That just cannot happen.
That's a team with no discipline, no focus, and no trust. This isn't just about losing a few games. It's about a whole culture crumbling from within.
The Indiana Fever are in a disastrous situation right now. They're in an absolutely disastrous situation.
When your superstar's out there fighting alone, this isn't some ordinary team issue anymore. This is a full-scale meltdown.
If it's not minor, then again, I'm getting very close to just riding off the seat.
Sophie Cunningham's blunt remarks about players living on different islands didn't come out of nowhere. They're the result of months of dysfunction, puzzling roster decisions, and a front office that looks utterly lost on how to protect the one player who truly matters, Caitlin Clark. And a lot of this mess circles right back to DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard. Let's be clear, Bonner wasn't signed to just fill a roster spot.
Whose idea was it to bring these old dinosaurs and put them on this roster, starting with DeWanna Bonner?
She landed a max contract from the Fever in the offseason. Still one of the most baffling moves fans and analysts can recall. Sure, Bonner brought experience, but she also came with serious baggage. And despite all her veteran status, the instant result was friction, not leadership. Some insiders even suggest her sudden exit wasn't just about her brutal shooting. It was a last-ditch effort to save whatever shred of team unity remained.
One of the fractures was a DeWanna Bonner group off to the side.
One analyst didn't even hold back, asking if the Fever finally realized they had to cut Bonner just to stop the locker room from completely imploding. Her sudden release shocked the entire WNBA, but in hindsight, it's hard to ignore the signs. She may have been the wedge splitting the team apart, right as Caitlyn was fighting to keep it all together. Then there's Natasha Howard, arguably an even bigger question mark and an even bigger risk. Fans and creators have slammed her for her lack of urgency, shaky effort, and head-scratching behavior off the court. In a recent game, she literally showed more concern for an opposing player than for her own teammates.
Tasha Howard decides that she'd rather rub up on Ezzy Magdebor's leg.
Even when Caitlin Clark hit the floor after a brutal foul, Natasha stood there stone-faced. No reaction, no support, nothing at all.
Anytime Caitlin Clark's been knocked to the ground, anytime Aaliyah Boston's been punked, anytime Lexie Hull's been beat up, Sophie Cunningham's been beat up, more concern about somebody on the other team than from her own team.
Meanwhile, she's quick to check on rival players, but barely bats an eye when Caitlin gets dropped, or Aaliyah takes a hit, or Sophie gets shoved around. It's not just awkward, it's flat out embarrassing. And still, with all that, Howard keeps clocking big minutes, while players like Sophie Cunningham, who actually care, stay glued to the bench. Even worse, fans are convinced this loyalty to Howard is pure politics, all thanks to Stephanie White, the head coach who once coached Howard back in Indiana. It's not about merit, it's about connections, and that's when the real damage comes into focus. By clinging to veterans who aren't all in and sidelining players who are, the Fever blew up their own chemistry. Now, the locker room's broken into literal factions. One analyst even mapped it out. Caitlin, Lexie Hull, and Sophie on one island, Natasha, Sydney Colson, and Kelsey Mitchell camped out on another.
We have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
Brittany Griner elbowing Caitlin Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
And Brittany Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittany Griner says, white girl.
The WNBA should investigate Brittany Griner's seemingly uttering profanities about white girls.
Brittany Griner just managed to do the unthinkable, spark controversy for all the wrong reasons by unleashing a shocking verbal assault on Caitlin Clark, allegedly calling her a trash white girl during a game broadcast live on TV.
Brittany Griner appeared to call Caitlin Clark trash and effing white girl.
Brittany Griner appeared to call Caitlin Clark trash and effing white girl. Now the internet is erupting. Fans are demanding disciplinary action, and wild rumors about Griner's private life are resurfacing faster than you can say technical foul.
Brittany Griner is, in fact, a man.
If you've got Caitlin Clark's back, now's the moment. Drop an I stand with CC in the comments to show some real love and support for the queen of the court.
She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Things had been tense in the league for a while, but Griner took that tension and turned it into a live-action meltdown. After fouling out of a hard-fought game, cameras caught Griner walking off the court where she visibly mouthed the words, "trash effing white girl." And yes, it was crystal clear.
Brittany Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad. She called her a trash expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yes, trash white girl. Trash. Blanking white girl is what she said.
That clip spread across the internet faster than a half-court buzzer beater. This wasn't just standard trash talk. It was harsh. It was targeted, and it carried layers of hate baked into it. Even seasoned analysts were stunned. Skip Bayless didn't hold back. He said plainly that if a white player had used a racial slur on national television, their career would be over by lunchtime.
Is the WNBA okay with one of its players saying white girl on the bench and getting caught by TV cameras saying such? I guess they are. I guess they're okay with it. Obviously, the league would very much not be okay with a white player saying black girl on the bench in anger and getting caught by TV cameras. That would be an immediate suspension, if not a career ender for said white girl.
Yet, when Griner did it, nothing. No fine, no suspension, not even a formal warning issued. The silence was louder than a missed free throw in an empty gym, and fans weren't having it.
But it is completely possible that white girl was about Caitlin Clark's popularity, about her stature, about her impact on the entire league.
Let's be honest. Caitlin Clark has faced this kind of hostility since her first WNBA warm-up. She's been pushed, shoved, knocked around, not because she plays dirty, but because she's dominant. And yeah, let's not pretend race isn't a factor here too.
She has been abused repeatedly. We have shown you videos, just getting elbowed, getting crushed, inbound passes where they ram into her, just absolutely abused, and there clearly is a racial element to it.
Griner's outburst didn't come out of nowhere. It was the latest in a troubling pattern. This wasn't a moment of passion. It was a calculated, venom-filled insult broadcast to the world. And from a league that loves to say no place for hate, their silence is deafening when the hate's aimed at Clark.
The WNBA has come out numerous times. There's no place for hate. There's no place for racism.
And now the fan base wants answers. They want to know why the league shrugged this off like a missed layup. Why is Brittany Griner being protected from consequences when she clearly crossed the line on national television? Let's flip the script. What if Caitlin Clark had said the same thing?
The league would not be okay with a white player saying effing black girl.
Imagine Caitlin Clark calling Griner a trash black girl on live TV. It would have sparked media meltdowns, non-stop news coverage, league-wide statements, and likely a lifetime ban from basketball. No debate, done and dusted.
Let's see an investigation into reverse racism that's going on across the league also.
Skip Bayless hit the nail on the head again. He said any white player making that kind of remark would be destroyed by the media. But Griner, she gets a pass as if she accidentally stepped out of bounds.
Griner referring quite clearly, I believe, to Caitlin Clark and a white referee as, quote, trash ass white girls.
And when commentators tried to defend, twisting her words into bad call, please. The footage is as clear as Clark's three-point shot. Fans, lip readers, and even neutral reporters confirmed what they saw. Yet the league is acting like someone just forgot to turn up the volume. It's that kind of selective outrage that's corroding the WNBA from within.
If you are a straight white woman in the WNBA, there is no way that you feel completely safe.
The same organization that rushed to investigate Indiana Fever fans after vague, unverified allegations about Angel Reese is suddenly blind, deaf, and mute when an actual player hurls a racist insult. Make that make sense.
The noise that's coming.
I don't appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and the people that I play against. Because yeah, those might be opponents, but those are friends too. You know, they don't deserve that. So I don't appreciate the new fans that think it's okay to do that.
This isn't new for Clark. She's been the league's favorite punching bag since day one. Not because she talks trash or flops for calls, but because she's great, she's white, and she's stealing the spotlight from players who think seniority grants immunity. Angel Reese even reposted a meme showing Clark running scared from a fight, captioned, "White girl running from the fade," like she's trying to start a beef mixtape. And that's not fan content. Reese posted it herself.
Image that she reposted. And the implication is, well, what it says at the top is white, this is how they say girl, G-Y, white gal, G-Y-A-L, running from the fade, like as if Caitlin Clark.
And the hits keep coming. Players have slapped her in the face, shoved her mid-play, and treated every hard foul like they just won the finals. Yet Clark never reacts. No dirty plays, no cheap shots, just basketball brilliance on full display while facing more hostility than any rookie ever has.
Caitlin Clark got roughed up repeatedly by defenders throughout her rookie year last year. It was attempted bullying, trying to break her spirit, intimidate her, put her in her place, get even with her for all the attention she was getting.
And here's the reality check. Every time Caitlin Clark takes a hit, she's expected to zip it and smile, play nice, take the high road. Never mind that she's the one being shoved, slammed, and now verbally assaulted. While she's held to impossible standards, the same media that should defend her is busy applauding her antagonists. The message is loud and clear. Some players get a pass, and Clark gets a target on her back. The league talks about growing the game, but ignoring what's happening to Clark is exactly what's shrinking it.
Angel Reese did things last night I'm not sure we've ever seen on a basketball court. I was like, is this real? Did this happen?
Angel Reese just had one of the most humiliating performances of her career, and it wasn't just about the numbers. It was the way she completely unraveled on the court. From careless mistakes to needless aggression, Reese put on a meltdown that left everyone stunned and speechless.
The Lunar Owls crushed the Rose BC, and Angel, well, she did some rather interesting things on the court. And Nafisia Collier, well, look now, one thing we could say, they are not afraid of Angel Reese and the Rose BC, because after hitting the game-winning shot, Nafisia had some real words towards Angel Reese.
But the real highlight? Nafisia Collier had seen enough of Reese's antics and decided to show her a lesson in the most perfect way possible. If you want to see how to shut down a trash talker, you're in the right spot. Stick around, because we're diving into every laugh-out-loud moment that revealed Angel Reese for what she truly is, a player more concerned with drama than real basketball.
Angel Reese looks like a very dirty move under the basket.
Spot, draws two, sling it, Reese!
Angel Reese entered this game with her usual swagger, acting like she was ready to dominate. But it didn't take long to see she was more focused on showboating than actually helping her team. Instead of playing smart, she spent the game trying to intimidate her opponents, tossing reckless passes, and making one poor decision after another.
She's going to go in, and then after she hits it, she's going to bark her head off at Angel Reese.
8 to shoot. Tiggins Smith matched up by Gray.
Right there.
To the ball. Collier
game winner.
it.
Look at her. She's talking mad.
Queen Bee.
Mad.
Angel Reese was on Nafisia Collier, giving her a bunch of frustrating bumps.
Let's dive into the numbers, because, frankly, they're laughable. Reese turned the ball over 7 times. Yep, you read that correctly. 7 turnovers. And these weren't just small slip-ups. We're talking about some of the most absurd blunders you'll ever witness at the pro level. At one point, Reese launched the ball right into the backboard, grabbed her own errant pass like she was playing a solo game of catch, and then stood there looking utterly baffled, as if she couldn't believe what had just unfolded.
Angel Reese rebounded her own pass. I saw this and was like, this can't be real. Angel Reese thought she was playing dodgeball out there.
Reese's overconfidence really caught up with her as she launched some of the most absurd shots you can imagine, completely off the mark. When she wasn't airballing, she was out there trying to play bully ball, repeatedly shoving and body checking Nafisia Collier, all in a desperate attempt to get under her skin.
Angel was 8 for 16 for 17 points, 10 boards last night, 7 turnovers. Nafisia Collier right here, 7 of 16. She had 16 points, 9 rebounds, but she had the most important thing, the game winner last night.
But here's where the real fun kicks off. Instead of letting Reese's antics rattle her, Collier did exactly what a true pro would do. She stayed locked in, kept her focus on the game, and absolutely exposed Reese for the fraud she is. Every time Reese tried to get physical, Collier answered in the best way possible, by lighting her up on the scoreboard.
I mean, Angel Reese is out there looking like a UFC fighter.
If you're a hoops fan, if you're a basketball fan, and you watch this, I don't give a if you are an Angel Reese fan. You can't tell me this is not egregious.
They're doing everything they have to do to sell this league.
Angel Reese's desperation hit a peak when she pulled off one of the most awkward defensive plays of the game. Trying to muscle her way into position, she completely lost her balance and crashed to the floor like she was auditioning for a role in a B-movie. The best part? The refs weren't having any of it. No whistle, no foul. Just a cringeworthy moment that had fans facepalming.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skills. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
Social media didn't hold back, quickly roasting her for that ridiculous flop. Fans were quick to point out that for all her talk about being a tough, physical player, she sure crumpled like a paper bag when it worked in her favor. It was another harsh reminder that while Reese loves playing the villain, she doesn't exactly shine when the heat's on. Instead of stepping up and asserting her dominance, she turned to antics that only made her look more out of her depth.
This is Angel Reese, the content creator side. It's pretty clear basketball is her top priority. I cannot imagine how anybody could view this athlete in any other way. It's clear basketball is front and foremost. This is all helping with things like shooting better from the field and missing layups. She has no rhythm, just like she can't make a layup. Practice layups. OnlyFans incoming.
Meanwhile, Nafisa Collier stayed locked in, letting her game do the talking. While Reese was flailing for attention, Collier was racking up buckets, showing why she's one of the best. Every time Reese tried to rattle her, Collier responded with pure skill. And just when it seemed like Reese's night couldn't get worse, she panicked and threw a pass right into an opponent's hands. Another turnover, another wasted chance, another embarrassing moment.
I think Angel's more concerned about being an influencer, content creator, over being a better basketball player. This was her taking pictures, hanging out with some rappers and producers, etc.
You think you could get a bucket in this format, full court 3-on-3?
You don't think I can get a bucket?
Yeah.
If Angel Reese on my team, yeah.
By the end of the game, the contrast between the two players was painfully obvious. Collier was the epitome of professionalism, calm, collected, and clutch when it mattered most. Reese? She was nothing more than an overhyped mess, letting her emotions control her every move. It was a night to forget for Reese, but for fans who've watched her antics all season, it was just another glaring reminder that she's nowhere near the superstar she claims to be. This loss wasn't just another tally in the column, it was the brutal exposure of her reckless, undisciplined play. While she's built a brand on trash talk and drama, games like this lay bare why she's nowhere close to the level of true stars like Collier or Caitlin Clark. The difference between all the noise and real talent was put on full display, and in the end, Reese walked away with nothing but yet another humiliating loss.